Welcome to the WSL post show. Thanks for tuning in. Ooh la la, it's been a great day. Joined by 2006 world champion Josh Constable. We have called some incredible longboarding today in pretty much perfect longboard conditions.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic day of surfing. When we rocked up this morning, we saw that offshore breeze and the swell was clean, the lines were lined up. We knew we were in for a hot day, and those women this morning, they really got to put on a show, and it was great to watch.
Absolutely, and we had that elimination round for the women and the men, but because the conditions were clean and the energy was positive, even those surfers who'd already advanced into round 3 were here early to watch the action. Everybody wanted to be part of it.
Yeah, especially today because the waves were so good. People that won yesterday were almost thinking, man, would have been all right if I lost yesterday and got an opportunity to surf these great waves.
And that's a big factor. The people who would have advanced through today's heats, you know, they've got that momentum going into tomorrow's round 3.
They do, for sure. And we saw that with the surfing. We saw high scores today. Those surfers yesterday struggled a little bit, didn't quite get those scores. So now they're coming off tonight. They're going to bed. They've had some great waves, some high scores. Their confidence is booming, and they're going to come into tomorrow ready to fire.
Somebody who is firing on all cylinders, Alice Flint, has just won the last heat of the day. Is down on the glass with True Starling.
Thanks so much, Sam. Kai, that was a pretty stacked heat with Johnny there. The conditions looked really tricky, but you made a pretty smart decision there moving down to the bowl.
Yeah, I gave myself a little bit of time at the start of the heat, just to try and get a read on the waves, and it just looked way too difficult to try and link it all up in the end, and I knew there was a couple coming through on the inside of the bowl. It was a little bit cleaner, so I just kind of went and sat there. But even then, you're out in the middle of the ocean, you know, can't really, there's wide ones and inside ones coming through, so it's still just as tricky.
Is that something that you've been keeping an eye on throughout the afternoon, the bowl? I mean, everyone's been surfing at Rincon pretty much all day. The bowl hasn't been an option till this afternoon, so was that something that you looked at with family or friends?
Yeah, I guess when, like a few days ago when there was that onshore wind and stuff, there was an opportunity to take a read on what it was going to do if there was going to be these kinds of conditions. And with a low tide kind of on its way, I was heading towards to surf the bowl. So yeah, I just saw a few opportunities like in the previous heat, and it was a no-brainer.
Coming up to the round of 16, and you've had this elimination round, which is always pretty nerve-wracking, but moving on through, do you feel like you maybe have a leg up over the other competitors, seeing as you spend a bit more time in the lineup?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm fresh to bells. My first time down here, and it's good to surf and continue to surf, but you're also tiring yourself out a little bit. I mean, I spent all day at home just stretching and laying around, watching the surfing online and doing that thing, hanging out with family, which is nice. So yeah, it's a good day.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat. Good luck tomorrow. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, True. Humble and as cool as ever, Alice Flint. You know, what does it take to get that excitement out of Alice Flint, Josh?
We saw it early in the week when the waves were good and there was a little more size, and we spoke about it in the live call then. He wants some juice. He wants to lay some calves. He wants to get on that speed shape, and he wants to put on some good surfing. But he did that in that heat. That was really special. It was really nice to watch.
But someone who put on some incredible surfing, standout of the day, Tony Silvagni from the East Coast, absolutely on fire. I mean, toes on the nose on his Bill Stewart board, just looking dynamic.
And look at these conditions. This is right on the top of the high tide. We just hadn't had that wind switch yet. It was more so in the middle of this heat when the wind switched. But this was Tony's first wave, and it was sensational. We didn't see much of this earlier with these bigger sets. And look at the footwork, the nose riding, and really nice here. I remember this turn, just jamming off the top, back on this inside Rincon runner, and that's what we came to see.
And he just got the best bit of the tide, didn't he? And the way he pressed the eject button,
that was
just in time on that bit. But it was that dropping tide, just come off Rincon, but still had a lot of good sets. But it was incredible surfing from Jack Tyro as well. Of course, out in New Zealand, Jack Tyro had won the trials event at Torquay Point 2 days ago, and what an opportunity to see Jack Tyro on the world stage surfing against Tony Silvagni.
16 years old, and look how poised and how controlled he looks. He looked calm under a big situation, first time surfing in a major WSL event, and he surfed great. Unfortunately, came up against a red-hot Tony Silvagni, who's been surfing for so many years on tour, and this was his backup wave.
Absolutely red hot, an 8 and a 7.33, so that heat score of 15.33, and these visuals do the talking, Josh.
Totally, and this was a little bit later in the heat. He backed it up with a really nice one. Beautiful drop knee turn. That board's looking sensational. His surfing was on point, and it was great to see Tony really fire. It's been a long time since he's been making a lot of heats and getting great results, but not getting the scores like that. So for him to come out, it was a big confidence booster. I spoke to him after the heat, and he was buzzing.
And Tony just got those clean waves. It did get messy later for the men's, but for the women's, they had clean surf all morning. And Avalon Gall from Laguna Beach, Southern California, on the Michael Takayama boards, she was just incredible with that footwork, that flow, and the high degree of difficulty on the nose rise, Josh.
Yeah, she's one of my favourites, and I've been getting the opportunity to watch her surf. She's been coming to Noosa for the festival for a lot of years now, and this surfing today was just so good.
8.17, she backed that up with a 6.67, but Roisin Caroline, the chef from Byron Bay riding the McTavish surfboards, she got enough content to keep her Instagram happy for the next 6 months, even in this heat, despite losing, putting on a beautiful display of longboarding.
Yeah, and that board has just got beautiful trim, beautiful drop knee turns. She just came up against a really hot surfer today, but this surfing that Roisin was doing was really, really nice, and she'll be happy with the performance. Didn't progress, unfortunately, but Avalon, she was on today.
Absolutely. Brilliant surfing. She backed up that 8.17 with a 6.67. It's the strength in the legs, the way she's able to hold the nose. Avalon that we saw here. I've seen this in 2019 when she had a really great run on the WSL World Longboard Tour, but the way she nose rode through that section was just sensational.
That was insane, and then backs it up with a really nice 10, hanging on to it. That Michael looking unreal under her feet today. She surfed really good, and it was her first time actually getting out here and surfing the high tide and surfing over at Rincon. She's been surfing the bowl every day and practicing out there, so to first surf out there, put on a performance like that, I think a few of the girls are on watch now.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the chance to look again at that 8.17, it was really some of the best surfing that we saw all day.
Yeah, let's
it was
have
the wave
look.
of the day, Josh.
It was unreal. This nice 5 here, slipping into a 10, dropping back. Just the surfing. Here's another angle of it. This looks unreal. 5, 10, hanging. Like you said, the hang time right here, unreal.
Beautiful footwork, commitment, aggression as well, but style, flow, and grace. Capped up with those 2 dynamic lifting 10s, that Michael Takayama board really doing the job. Michael, you'll be tuning in. You'll love what you saw. Surf fans, it's been the most incredible day. It's been a pleasure to have your company. Josh, we've really enjoyed it, but I recommend tuning in tomorrow because we'll be moving into that round 3. So much more to play for. 2 days left in the waiting period as we continue the 2023 Bioglan Bells Beach Longboard Classic presented by Rip Curl. We'll be catching up with the action first thing local time tomorrow morning. Stay with us for more brilliant longboarding.